We actually got a win, so I'm buzzing. Let's get straight into it, guys. Obviously, I'm here tonight, and I'm joined by Matty, Dave, and Greg. Fortunately for all of us, the Manx have got a win, and Kyle isn't joining us tonight because, unfortunately for him, just for him. Unfortunately for him, he's got COVID. So get well soon, Jonesy. But I must admit, I'm glad you're not on tonight after you boys getting a win. But welcome, boys. How are we all doing?
All good.
Good,
all
mate.
good.
Better than Kyle, anyway.
Yeah. First thing, I do want to just raise a toast to Lolo over on the Stoop, and congratulations to him today. Him and his missus have welcomed their newest family member, as is in comments there. So congrats, Lolo. All the best to you all, mate. And buzzing for you, man. More sleepless nights heading his way, eh? It's all fun and games, guys.
Yes, Mr. Tom. Still on the toilet, mate. Ain't left since last week. Still here, mate. Still here.
But right, let's get straight into it. So we're going to scoot over a few things this evening. Obviously, the episode we've sort of highlighted what's going to be mentioned. So we've got El Sackico. We've got Aaron Ramsdale's heroics. Ollie in, but maybe we'll just scoot over that as Jonesy's not with us tonight. But let's get straight into the first game that happened over the weekend. And we've got two happy Gooners with us tonight. So, Leicester 0, Arsenal 2. Let's start with you, Dave. What were your thoughts on the game as a whole? And, run us through it, mate.
Well, to be honest, leading into the game, looking at the run of fixtures we'd had, I would have bitten your hand off for a draw, to be fair. But I just had I was quietly confident. Like, I didn't really think we was going to lose. But the way they started was unreal. Typical quick. It seems to be a trend now. They seem to just come out flying out the blocks, hope they get a goal or two, and then hang on to it for the rest of the game. It's worked in the last few games. Leicester must have seen it coming. After the match comments, Brendan Rodgers said they knew it was coming, but they couldn't deal with it, which bodes well for us. That even though they were fully expecting it, they still couldn't do nothing about us being all over them for the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And going 2 up, and it just felt like when we got them 2 goals, you just thought the way they're playing now and defending, you just thought, okay, we can see this out. And they did come into it, obviously because they started playing a lot better, Leicester, and we were on the ropes for a lot of the game. But I felt pretty confident that we were going to see it out, and I've not felt that way for a long time about Arsenal. Like when you see Tielemans get the ball, look up, you think, swing that in, no worries, we'll head that away, cheers. And then anything that come through that, Ramsdale was just inspired. I mean, me and Matt can't stop talking about him.
I love that bloke, honestly. Love
a goalkeeper have this impact. Like, I mean, this is high praise. Obviously, he's nowhere near the level of Alisson or Edison yet, but I've not seen a goalkeeper have that impact on a club for probably since one of them sort of players. Obviously, there's different...
And so quickly as well.
Yeah, different expectations and different levels, but he's like transformed us, like the way we defend. It's like every time someone clears a ball or heads it away, he's the one there patting them on the back, or if someone has a shot, he's the one coming out screaming at people. And then even he's one of them players who relishes the pressure as well. You can see it. Like he had the fans all over him all game, because he's known now for his distribution, which is unreal, by the way. Like some of the passes he was pinging out was ridiculous.
Yeah. That one on the half volley off out of his hands down the pipe, straight down the centre. Brilliant.
So because he was doing that, you could see their fans were getting the ump with it, and they were basically putting pressure on him, shouting every time he was kicking the ball, waiting for him to make a mistake. When he made like one mistake, they loved it. The crowd was all over him, but he didn't let that deter him. He just kept doing it, kept giving it back to the fans. You could see he was relishing it. But then obviously
typing, Greg.
Say, mate.
Stop typing. That's all we can hear.
Yeah. Nightmare.
I wasn't even typing.
Good life, buddy.
Oh, fair play.
Is that what you call it these days? Oh, right.
Just quietly trying to take the chocolate out. That's all.
When he was called upon to make his saves, though, I mean, the free kick save just speaks for itself. Like, and the ones where he come out, so he just makes himself so big and just throws himself like suicidally at the ball. Like you could just see he weren't going to get beaten, and I think their team, he was slowly demoralising their team. So over the moon with the win, but the second time I say it, I've not seen a goalkeeper have an impact like that on a football team for a while. To be fair, So yeah, onwards and upwards. It feels like this was the game that was going to prove if it was just a couple of games of good form, or if we're actually starting to build something, and they come through with flying colours again.
Yeah. Well, look, off Gunnosaurus all over it. Off the back of Ben ripping the piss out of my green screen showing up on my 3 stripes, which it is. Look, there you go. He did mention that Arsenal turned up for 20 minutes and Ramsdale turned up for 90. But I've got to throw in a little bit of praise coming your way, Matty, for Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu, and Tavares as a back 5 unit. What are you saying about that? And is it going to be difficult for Tierney, like walking straight back in? Because does he?
Well, no, I don't think he does. I mean, this is a good thing to have. We haven't had this where he's pretty much been play. I mean, obviously with the Celtic connection as well, he's like one of my favourite players. But no, I don't think he's going to have it easy to walk back in. Tavares was quality against Aston Villa as well. But like we sort of touched on before, the back 5, regardless, I mean, whoever's going to play just seems like to be like a proper unit. Like Ramsdale will make a save with his feet and just jump up and start beating his chest. And you can see like the centre halves are like, they're buoyed by that. I think White's missed the call. Like he's a bit more relaxed and laid back. I can't see him really going rah and going mental.
It's not his style.
Looks really cool about his business. Just goes about his job. Gabriel's a bit more of like Ramsdale, I think. And Tomiyasu, again, I don't think going forward he's amazing, but I quite like that. I quite like that he's more of a defender than
Mr. Reliable, isn't he?
Like a Robertson type character who just can't wait to get up the pitch. A bit like Tierney's pretty similar, but like Dave said, I don't ever remember a goalkeeper having such an impact on a team. It's like he's displaced Leno, which Leno was pretty much in plain sailing at Arsenal. And he's just some of the saves he made. Let's have it right. He's made 4 or 5 quality saves in that game. I think many other teams, Leicester would have equalised and maybe gone on to nick a draw. But his sole performance has kept us to win the game. But other aspects of the play were good. Even in the first couple of minutes, we got a corner quite early on, and they looked like they were. They all looked like they were on the back foot from like minute 1. And then when we scored, I wasn't even surprised because we had a bit of pressure there. But I mean, obviously, Emil Smith's Rose goal, another thing we touched on before. Will he get enough goals in a Premier League 38-game season? Ideally, you'd want him to be hitting double figures, and I think he's on his way. He's on his way. Do you know what I mean?
Starting to chip in now, isn't he?
That was his 3rd Premier League goal. But that ball fell very, very nicely for him. Very, very nicely.
He took it very well, though, to go across rather than go near post.
He's very composed for a kid, for someone so young. But I also wanted to touch on the incident where Johnny Evans raped.
It's a red.
I mean, even Greg's just said it right there. I mean, in the Man City game, Laporte does the same thing to Zaha, and he's immediately.
That's what I'm saying.
So if he gets sent off, what's the
consistency throughout is stupid.
Yeah, what's to say we wouldn't have scored another couple of goals?
It was actually worse than Laporte's as well.
He was gone, Aubameyang, if that never happened. Yeah, but I'm baffled.
I actually think that with the City one, I think it was Cancelo. He would have actually made it back, I think.
Yeah. There was no one on the other side of the other one.
Whereas your one, Johnny Evans, that was it. It was 1-on-1. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, the consistency of the refereeing is a joke. And we'll get onto that later.
I see Ben Islands compared you to Jan Mulby in that retro Liverpool shirt tonight, Greg, as well.
How does he know that? He hadn't even seen my derby.
Wait till he stands up, Ben.
Fucking wait till he stand up. We have got the same body type.
I was comparing Dave to Gundogan off air as well, with his new shorter hair.
And by the way, for any viewers listening, his name is David Scott. I mean, he looks like he's got an all-round tan all year, and he's been on in Marbella for the last 6 years. But it's not the case.
Looks like his name's Denis Sunchai or something.
Yeah. He's definitely changed his name by default, 100%. But anyway, going back onto the game, don't want to wax Liverpool about it too much, but I've backed against us twice, as in I've backed 2 draws and we've got 2 wins. So I don't think I'm going to back against us again. I think we can push on maybe a little bit more from this.
On the opposite end of that, Matty, maybe you should keep backing against yourself.
Mm.
Because maybe that's why you're winning.
Well, maybe there is that. But another thing that I wanted to just briefly touch on is we've got a tiny bit more depth than I thought what I thought we had. Odegaard, like I said, I don't think he's the best. I mean, he's the greatest player. But when you're sort of 65, 70 minutes in and you want to play a bit of keep ball, someone who's tidy with a ball, he's a good player to bring on in that sense.
He's there, unless it's Pascal Struijk.
Yeah,
100%.
A good win, and hopefully we can just keep the momentum going the next few. Because we've got some real tough games coming up after. Well, even Watford will now pose to probably be a tough game after they rip the arsehole out of Everton.
Well, that's what we just said, wasn't it? On paper, it's an easy game, but now going into that, you've got Watford coming up, then you've got Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United.
Man United at Old Trafford, yeah.
And the 2 away games there, Liverpool, Man United.
I do think that because Watford played so well in the last game, I'm actually quite happy about that because it means they'll keep
done their batteries now, maybe for a bit. Who knows? But the Ranieri effect is in full effect, mate. Might win the league now, mightn't they?
Imagine that they're going to win the league.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious, wouldn't it?
You just have to just say he's the greatest manager ever, wouldn't you?
Yeah, just football finished. Just two
5,000 to 1s.
Yeah,
just be ridiculous, mate. Newcastle will be begging him to come in, then, wouldn't they? Doing everything they can.
Spurs are the Newcastle of the South.
Right, well, let's move on to the next game then, guys. And over to you, Greg. We did touch on it in our WhatsApp group, I think earlier, when we said it was a bad result, especially going 2-0 up at home to Brighton. You'd think you'd see that out. But what are your thoughts on the game as a whole, and obviously what the result was as well?
Yeah, I mean, do you know this? From 2-0 up, obviously it is a bad result, and obviously being at home. But after last year, and with the form they've been showing this year, it wasn't a shock in a way. But the fact that we've been so clinical lately and obviously smashed the scum, and when we go 2-0 up and then we are pressing, we nearly got the third. Obviously, Mane's was disallowed. You kind of think, we'll just go and see it out. But they're just a horrible team, aren't they, Brighton? I don't know what it is for us. I don't know.
Hard team to beat, mate. I tell you.
They are. They're just
the way he's got them playing.
Again, obviously.
Another game that we should have lost and didn't. We should have lost to them.
Yeah, they've obviously just got a collective. They've got a few good players here and there. I mean, Trossard's got on the score sheet. He is a good player. I really like him. And you don't play for Belgium. Yeah, you don't play for Belgium if you're not good.
Yeah,
he's got bags for life, though, isn't he? Them bags under his eyes.
Oh yes, yeah. He must be having.
Looks like a mini Count Duckula.
A lot of fizzy drink.
Got a bit about him.
But disappointing really, because obviously we've been on good form, really good form, and I thought even still maybe we would have got at 2-1, just see it out, maybe get the third, but it just didn't happen. So it was.
I wonder if they must talk about this in the dressing room and that, because could you imagine, even when we're playing together Sunday League and whatever levels and that, you have your chats and whatever in your dressing room before and after games. They must discuss FPL, and they must be like, who's your like who's going to be captain this week and things like that. They've got to run that by each other.
Bamford had that great interview, didn't he, when he mentioned about captaining himself.
He captains himself every week, he said, and it gives him added pressure. Like.
But I mean, do you know the thing is, you've got going back obviously to the game that Brighton, you know, that Basuma was back for them, which was a big thing for them, I think. And then the fella that scored, I mean, that goal, I mean, did he mean it? I don't know.
I'm not sure either, to be honest. It's one of them.
It's very Ronaldinho, isn't it? Like I think it's just caught Alisson out. Like
I always lean towards no, it's not meant unless it's a player. Unless it's a player like a Ronaldinho that has done it sort of a few times. I always sort of lean towards nah, he didn't mean that. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think he did, to be honest.
I don't know, but it's again still good guy. And he actually played really well. I mean, I don't know who the fella is, but he actually played really well.
No.
Him and Basuma actually did quite. They did quite well together, to be honest.
That was his first game back, wasn't it, Basuma? I'm sure.
Yeah, after the. Yeah, because apparently he might have been the one that got Icon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Apparently, but I don't know.
For no apparent reason for a while.
That's the fella. Look, Mwepu, whoever he was, he done really well. No, but disappointing from us.
I might do, Mr. Tom. He don't look like he's far off the toilet, does he? He does look
just going to pull the chain, hang on. But disappointing for us. But again, we haven't lost, so
you're still the only team that haven't lost the game, right?
Yeah, we just move on. See what comes of the next game.
Who have you got next, Greg? Who's next?
John.
Oh, Terry.
Next
Terry loves a Google.
They've got Atletico tomorrow, and then they've got West Ham.
West Ham. Yeah, hard game. Yeah, hard game.
Your next three
game, by the way.
Your next three, Greg, are West Ham away, Arsenal at home, Southampton at home, and then Everton away.
Everton are pony, by the way.
I mean,
absolutely pony.
It's hard, isn't it? Like, there's not many. There's not many teams I worry about. You've obviously got your big guns, which we haven't against Chelsea. Obviously, we drew, and then
West Ham
all right against.
It's sneaking
West Ham's
in games that you're thinking, fuck me, we don't need that.
It's a horrible game, 100%, especially the form they're on.
They're just boring.
They seem to have, West Ham are unreal at the minute. They seem to have a bit of everything. They've got that fight. They've got that a bit of class in certain players. They're getting goals. They're keeping them out. It's just all round.
They play with a lot of freedom, West Ham, don't they? It's like they're not scared to have a go, but they know how to defend.
Well, I think he's totally turned it round in the second spell, isn't he, Moyes?
Sorry.
Did they equalise? Did they?
They've gone 2-1 up.
Are they 2-1 up? Fucking hell.
Kyle's buckets just got bigger.
Oh yeah. He's just totally turned it round. The second spell in charge. He's totally, and I think he obviously had a point to prove, didn't he? He had a bit of a thing on his name, a black spot, so to speak. But he's really turned it around now, and I think anyone in the league, apart from maybe City and that, would potentially have a look at him again. If he was to ever leave West Ham, I don't know. But
he's done a great job, mate. He really has. Well, he done well originally when he went there, just to keep him in the league, mate.
Yeah. Obviously,
if you go from doing that, just surviving, to what they're doing now, they're sort of becoming a consistent top 6 side. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So,
the ground now is. It wasn't a football ground, but they seem to have made it into one. And they've got the biggest attendance in London. Do you know what I mean? They're essentially the biggest club in London.
They've got that billionaire Czech geezer now sniffing around as well, haven't they?
Well,
yeah, apparently,
bought a stake in the club, hasn't he, with a view to a full takeover. So yeah, they're going places for sure.
It can't hurt, can it?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So to be honest, Greg, mate, I don't think it'll turn out a bad result. That drawing against Brighton ain't. Even though we look at Brighton, a small club, and they're a good side.
It's funny though, isn't it? Really, because we did this before. Like we only lost the one game and lost the league. Draws, you think, they're good. You get a point, but it's how many draws do you have throughout the season? And that's 2 draws now, where we're Brentford and Brighton.
Yeah.
And obviously we got the Chelsea draw, but I think the Chelsea draw is obviously a good one. It's when you look at these Brentford, Brighton. Okay, we haven't lost, but they could come back to haunt us. The 4 points that we've lost. Do you know what I mean?
I think how City feel though, like losing to Palace.
I get that. But then you got to flip it and look how Chelsea are doing.
Yeah,
it's not just a City title race. It's a Chelsea, it's a Man City, it's Liverpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very open. Obviously, there's a long way to go. The class will show another 15 games down the line.
And obviously, Tottenham are back, so they're going to be in contention.
Just a word on that. Jamie O'Hara steals a living. That geezer has got to go. Tottenham are back. We're back from where? The shop.
Yeah, Tottenham are back in floating in mid-table where they always have been.
But in fairness to them, like if this is true, like I read somewhere today that if they would have sacked that Nuno at the end of the season, there would have been no severance package. He would have just got binned. Apparently, they've paid the geezer £14 million to bin him.
So it's costing them 30.
Conte is on 15.5 million a season.
Yeah, so it's costing them 30.
And think what they've had to do to get him in, the agreements they would have had to make with him, because he walked away from before. They
promised him 150 million in January or something.
He's just going to raid Serie A for the best players.
He demands control of all transfers and stuff like that. He wants to be like an old school manager. Like he wants to be in charge of the comings and goings and what the money gets spent on. It's a risk.
But they've got the guy in charge now, haven't they? Tottenham. They've got the director of football. It's not Levy. I think is maybe letting the leash a little bit to let Conte and this other fella actually take the reins.
When he at Juventus?
Yeah.
But how long will Levy do that for? He always ends up pulling rank, doesn't he?
Of course.
I've got a feeling it's not going to be as plain. It's not going to be plain sailing. Nothing they do ever is.
Nah.
With the financial draw that they have, then they got a £1 billion stadium, one of the best stadiums in the world. It always seems. I mean, look at Dele Alli. That's the biggest fall off of a footballer I can think of. He was an England international starter regular. He don't even play for Spurs. Like his drop off is just crazy.
Literally, World Cup semi-final 3 years ago.
Yeah.
While we're talking about them, we might as well just brush over onto the Tottenham Man United game quickly. Obviously, Carl's not with us to.
But were Man United really that good, or were Tottenham just absolute dog shit? I can't figure out.
Man United were better, but Tottenham was still
all right. Man United,
shit.
But Ronaldo, some of his touches. That one that he set up for, was it Rashford? One where he's done the defender the wrong way and flicked it and totally sent him the wrong. I mean,
no, that's Cavani.
Was it? Oh, Cavani's that was unbelievable. That's class.
Yeah.
But it only goes to show, like you said, weren't Man United that good or whatever. It only goes to show, like, I see people like Man United fans on Twitter and that sort of going, oh yeah, now we're sort of getting back on track and that. They're not at all. They just played a fucking terrible team. And the team that
they pressed better. They pressed better against Tottenham, which it's doable against a side like Tottenham.
But it's what every team does now. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just what's the minimum for every team now is to press to a half.
Yeah, you have to,
standard, isn't it? Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, your press has to be like. If you ain't got a press, then you're going to get fucked.
Yeah, if you're lazy in the Premier League, if you don't work as a unit now, it's just game over for you. Because
I have noticed since we come into the Premier League, I'm not just bringing it all back to us again, but since we come back into the Premier League, I've noticed a lot of other teams have started pressing a lot better since last season. Like, I think we upset quite a few teams that were a lot better than us last year. And teams have almost sort of gone with their playing staff. Like, they shouldn't be beating these teams. Like, we shouldn't be beating Man City and teams like that. And I think teams have looked at that and gone, well, if they run hard and press high, why the fuck shouldn't we?
Yeah.
And it's right.
It just shows
players that are willing to do it, then
if you sit back and sit back and sit back, eventually it's going to crack and it's you're going to concede a goal. To me, I've always been in the mindset of if you're not good enough, you've still got to have a go.
Yeah.
And if you get dicked, you get dicked. That's what happens when you play a better team. But
go down fighting.
You've got to go. You got to die on the sword, haven't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's only us who can't play it now.
Yeah, you got
everyone else is playing the We've forgotten how it's done. But yeah, I think it's a good move for them anyway. I think getting Conte in Tottenham, but financially,
it was the best. It was the best thing available that they could have possibly hoped for.
That they're in. To be honest, they're in dreamland.
He's in the top 5 in the world.
Yeah, it's a great appointment.
If he can't get a tune out of them, then
the money that they're paying him helps, because that is a fortune for a manager to be earning. Fortune.
Well, I see. Did you see? They're out in force already. You got Mourinho and him arm in arm talking at a football game, and then you got the captions. It's unbelievable here. They pay you to come. They pay you to leave. Yeah. and you ain't even got to win anything.
It does make you wonder.
Hopefully that will continue. It
does make you wonder though, because the first thing I saw when it come out, the Conte's coming to London, I was like, why the fuck would he go to Tottenham? I don't
get money. It can only be money.
Exactly.
It can only be money.
It does make you wonder: is he going there for a quick payday, and then you could it's not even really going to hurt your CV, because you can just come out of there and go, look. They've done the same to Nuno,
they were shit.
The same to Mourinho. It's a poison.
You think it's 18 months, right? And he's going to get nearly 30 million.
Yeah. And to be honest, all he's got to do is finish in the top 6, and he's improved them.
And the thing is, in that squad, when you've got a few bad eggs in a team like that, it's hard, no matter who the manager is. Do you not think any of us could actually sort the problem out? What would be the first thing that you do if you went to Tottenham? You take one person out of the defence.
Get rid of Dele Alli for a start.
No, it wouldn't even be Eric Dyer, mate. You just get rid of him.
Eric Dyer, Ali, they'd be gone.
You just get rid of Eric Dyer.
I'd flog Harry Kane immediately.
But that first goal was pathetic. Like, Ben Davies got about an hour to watch that ball come over. How's he misjudged the flight of the ball?
But he hasn't played. He hasn't played all season.
He didn't even get hit with any great pace. He was just like that.
But did you see?
Like looking at it all
to be fair,
the finish was an absolute joke, though. To hit that.
Talking about the finish, because I'm not being funny. Literally about five seconds earlier, he aired a shot, trying to do the same thing, and then he's come back in, and
that's what he's got. That's what he's got in the locker. He could be quiet.
No, of course.
85 minutes.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's the mentality. That's the mentality. He's just skied one. Literally missed.
Get another chance. I will score.
And then only 5 seconds later.
Well, let's get rid of talking about them two shit clubs anyway.
Come on, the Leeds. Let's get it over with.
Get on to the mighty Leeds.
Let's do what our fans are waiting for.
There's Kyle, finally joined us.
He's got his head, that's for sure.
Same hairline, yeah. We're getting bad karma here, boys. We're all going to end up with COVID, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, Carl.
Yeah, let's get on to...
I've got the T-shirt, mate. Don't worry. Been there, done that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Norwich 1, Leeds United 2.
What a shit game.
I was about to say, Greg, I watched the whole 90 minutes and wanted to kill myself. It was terrible. Absolutely.
Imagine being a fan of one of the clubs involved. I can't even turn it off. It was, oh God, it was fuck. Look, it was one of them. Most games I go into, and it's like I want a good performance from the team, and the result, if it follows, is like I'm happy. But a performance is what I'm after. Going into this game, I just wanted 3 points because anything less against these is panic stations. Like
you're going to get ridiculed.
Yeah, and that everyone's jumping on it. Like if they drew or even lost to Norwich, imagine, fuck that. So I just wanted to avoid both of them situations, and the 3 points is all that mattered. And look, I'm over the moon that we got the 3 points, and I wouldn't even say over the moon. It was more relief than anything at the end of the game, but I just want to sweep that under the carpet and move on now, and hopefully try and improve the performance, because now we're coming into a stage of the season, excuse me, where I said at the start, I'm not going to judge us until 10 games in. We're 10 games in now, and we're 17th. That's not what I'm sort of hoping for. And I do look, there's the opposite end of the scale where people have been raving about Aston Villa. People have been raving about Crystal Palace and Brentford. And Crystal Palace and Brentford are 2 points above us, and we're on the same points as Villa. So when you take that into account, and we've got had the bulk of our better players and more senior players missing, it's almost like, well, it fills me with a little bit more confidence because we're at our worst and we're at our lowest ebb, and we're still level with Villa. And
Villa have lost 4 Premier League games in a row now, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Villa are on a bit of a downward spiral.
Palace should have picked up so many more points than they have. If they were clinical, they would
been
have
unlucky.
So should Brentford.
Yeah, both decent teams. Palace
and to be honest, we're coming out of games now. Like Bremner's goals put in, we're 8th in the form table. Leeds are. We're coming out of games now playing pretty shit.
Yeah,
and getting a result. Whereas last season we were playing fucking outstanding and we'd lose. We'd lose in a thriller and things like that. So I like the fact that we can come through games now.
Bit of a learning curve there from the back. Yeah,
we've got to take the positives out of it. Like I like that we can come through a game in a shit, scrappy, horrible game where we're playing terribly for the standards that we've set, and we still come out with 3 points away from home. It's like that is a good result. And when we've got players like Calvin Phillips, who look, we've all seen him in an England shirt now, and there was people that weren't too sure about him before then. He got England's Player of the Year, and he was arguably the player of the tournament in the Euros. He's a phenomenal midfield player. If you'd have seen him against Norwich, and that was the first time you'd seen him play, he's a mid-table championship player. He was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And
I didn't think he played well.
No, and the bulk of our team are. To be honest, if it wasn't for Rafinha,
that's not just a few games. Sorry, but that isn't just that isn't just Phillips. That's a lot of the England team from the Euros that are they're not performing.
No, it's a bit of a hangover from it. Shaw and
look at it. Look at it all the way through. Shaw, Maguire, Rashford's come back. He's okay. Rice is the only one that's really performing at a top level. Sancho can't even get
players as well. Have you seen some of the Juve players struggling, mate?
Struggling, yeah.
Oh yeah, Juve are like 9th or 10th, aren't they? And Serie A.
Listen, it was a long season, and they didn't have a lot of layoff. Let's face it, they had a couple of weeks layoff, mate. And then they're back in. They probably are a bit. It'll probably take them till the new year to actually maybe recoup. Yeah.
And it's one of them games. There's still positive to come out of it with the fact of Rafinha's played very well again, and the guy is like Matty. You were saying to me off air before we started, he's the catalyst. Like if he does well,
he's like the kid in the playground that you just can't get the ball off, and he's just annoying. You want to kick him. Yeah, he's very good. I mean, that's one of the first times I've probably watched him for like 90 minutes, and I realised how heavily Leeds rely on him. But at the end of the day, it's a game. At the end of the day, it's like you said, you didn't play that great, but it's a game you had to win and you won it. So you take that.
It's a bad
though, isn't it? That you just take fuck the performances. You just want the points. I'd 1-0 it all the way through the season if I could. You know what I mean?
I'm a bit concerned about Bielsa though. Someone get that geezer a chair. I mean, what is that all about?
Did you see what Rafinha done to him?
I just
I was just about to say it's a bad game. It's a bad game when there's 3 goals, but the most exciting thing was him taking Bielsa out.
Yeah. I must admit, I don't know if you see it, boys, but Rafinha's done brilliantly to try and keep a ball in. He's running down the touchline to head it back in, and his momentum has just took him straight into Bielsa, and he's crouched down, isn't he? And he ain't got time to get up out of the way. And he's just like, oh shit,
juggernaut.
And it was brilliant. I see a screen grab of it, and there's a moment where he's hit the deck and he's looking up and he looks fuming, and it's like the meme caption was something along the lines of, for a second there, he wanted to deck him, didn't he? It was
like... when you realise who's done it, it's your goal scorer.
I love how Rafa just grabbed hold of him, like picked him up, and Bielsa just started barking orders and got back down. Yeah. And didn't even bat an eyelid. Like,
Can I just ask Matty? Obviously, your it covers being Scottish. Gilmore, why is he not playing?
Before you came on air, before this broadcast started, me and Terry, I was saying to Terry the same thing. How is the kid on the bench? He's short. He's got to be way too good to play for Norwich. He was getting in Chelsea's team.
Well, that's what I mean. He's left Chelsea on loan because he just needed more game time.
Yeah.
He was more. He stepped into Chelsea and he didn't look out of place at all. No, he played for Scotland at the Euros and running and ragged.
Yeah. Now he can't play.
And now he can't get in bottom of the. I get it. He might not be but he is a scrappy. He likes a scrap. He gets involved in the tackles and that. He's not someone that's shirking out of the way. Like
no, not at all.
I don't understand.
You'll have to ask Daniel Farke. You have to ask Daniel Farke.
If I'm totally honest, I think if he plays against us, they have a lot better chance of nicking a result. Because he'd have took some sort of hold of that midfield.
Yeah, he would have taken the centre midfield by the balls and started. And maybe Calvin would have woke up then.
Possibly.
If I'm Tuchel, I'm recalling him 100%.
Yeah.
Well, there's rumours it is going to happen, isn't it? Apparently,
but now you've seen with Chelsea and the players that they're bringing on, it seems like Loftus-Cheek's getting much more of a look in, and Barkley's getting.
Barkley.
He was virtually like a castaway, like not that long ago.
Yeah, he was gone.
Mad, it's weird how football works.
There's links of him coming back to Leeds, Ross Barkley, in January. I've seen links of
Leeds.
It'd be a great signing.
We had him on loan in the Championship.
I remember that.
It'll be a great signing for him.
And then Neil Warnock cancelled his loan and signed Michael Tong and Michael Brown, who were about 45 years old. That was a great move.
That'll do it.
Mr. Tom, I like your comment there about you loved how Bielsa maintained the crouch at the end of the game. He it was like a period of reflection from him. I'd love to know what was going through his head. It was almost like he was saying a little prayer to himself. He had his hands clasped and he was sort of mumbling. So I don't know if he was sort of done a few prayers mid-game to say, please don't fucking hold on.
On loan in 1955.
He
was minus 20 then.
But it was it's 3 points at the end of the day. We've got to move on, and we've got a tough period of fixtures coming up. We've got Leicester and Tottenham as our next two. So Conte's first home game is us, which is great. And then we've got Brighton.
Don't worry.
Then we've got Brighton, Palace, Brentford, and then our period before Christmas is Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. So it's a fucking brutal run-in now for us till the end of the year. So every point matters really. So it's a strange one. But one thing I've got to take out of it as well is at the end of the season, if we're 17th, I'm going to be happy. Like we've got to just stay in this division because next year we're going to invest and we're going to be a different animal. But we've just got to be in this division to do that. Because there's a lot of plans in place. There's the stadium growth. There's a lot of investment coming in from the 49ers on with the on-field and bringing in a lot of new players and whatever. But we just got to be in the division. And one bonus about that is there's only 2 places now that are fighting for because there's one that's sealed. Norwich are gone. There's no way on earth they stay up. Like, I don't care what they do. I don't care if they sack Farke tomorrow and fucking pay Guardiola to leave City and come to them. They ain't staying up. They're gone. And you've got to start looking at Newcastle. And I know the money that they've got that's come in, and people are going to go, oh, well, they've just heavily invested in January. They've got to play it smart in January because people ain't going to want to go there. Their fixtures are worse than ours in the build up to Christmas, and they've only got 4 points from 10.
And as soon as a big team comes in seriously for Alan St. Maximin and his head gets turned slightly and he stops putting in those performances, they're going to be in serious trouble. Like I think they're going to get relegated. I think they're going to go down.
I think they go down this year, and it'd be fantastic. The fact that they'd be the richest club in the world and they'd be in the Championship, it would be hilarious. But I must admit, I really fear for them. If I was a Geordie, I'd be panicking.
Yeah,
despite the money.
It's a good shout.
That kind of get on my nerves with the whole. Oh, let's get back to how it was. It's like what was like you ain't.
They've never won anything
since the 50s.
Nah,
you're hanging on about 4 years when you played some good football.
Shearer wasted his whole career. Do
you know what I mean?
Majority of his career there.
Their best year ever. They finished second. Like, well done. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean?
We love beating them in the FA Cup as well. I'm sure we knocked them out of about 4 FA Cups. I'm sure.
Like Jackie Milburn bagged a few goals in the.
Well, you beat him in the final as well.
98 final, yeah.
Mark Overmars special.
Yeah. Just because they're one of these clubs, isn't they? They've got a huge fan base, and they seem to think that they've got a divine right to be called a big club because of that. They're not. They've never been in a big club in terms of on the pitch. And you've got that's where big clubs come from. Villa were a big club and are a big club because of.
Yeah, but you know why they think they're a big club.
United have won trophies galore throughout the years and things like that. Even though it's been a long period of time since we've done it. Newcastle never have.
It's because they got a massive stadium. They're a one club city. They automatically fit, and obviously, they had good times in the Prem with Keegan, but never done anything. That's why they automatically think they're a big team. But
I'm still upset they got rid of Steve Bruce, to be honest.
It isn't like
poor guy.
They are. I don't like it. I don't like it when people say that about sleeping giants, but they actually, you look at their. No, I know, but you look at their fan base. You look at their stadium.
Yeah,
and
massive.
They are there, but they just never done it on the pitch.
Yeah. So why would they now? That's the thing. Like they can't be considered sleeping giants because they've never been giants.
Who's going to?
No, I'm not. They've got the potential massively. If they
be the first biggest player to end up there, like the first. Do you really see them? Do you really? He'd be 50 by the time they.
But it will be someone like him who's at the end who's going to go. A payday, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't even see where it's coming from. I really can't.
Yeah, but you've only got to.
I hate it, mate. I'm scared of heights.
You've only got to think of Man City. Their first one was Robinho. He left Real Madrid, bruv.
And he thought he was going to Man United.
Yeah.
And then he got done for rape. So how's he getting on?
But but you just.
They should trade Robinho just for a laugh.
Someone will go. Someone big will go.
Yeah. I have no doubt. Apparently, Osman Dembele's been linked with going there.
Mate, they're just going to for January. I think
he's done nothing.
They got to look at loan players.
The only thing that's going to go in their favour is because the Premier League is such a draw right now. You will see. You look at the managers that are going to certain teams. You're going to see the same thing with. You're already seeing it with players. They're willing to play for a lower down Premier League side than they would. In a foreign league.
Well, who's
Maxwell Cornet at Burnley? That geezer is a player.
He's a
baller.
We was after him.
He's
and I wish we signed him because
they battered Brentford. I'm not sure if you saw any of the goals, but
his goal was brilliant.
They played some decent football. At least, what's his name will be happy? Billy Goats Gruff, old Sean Dyche. Yeah, well, as well, we've been threatening that for a few weeks. It's like got a permanent cold, isn't he?
It's like no one's ever taught him how to cough and clear his throat.
Yeah.
One day he's just going to accidentally.
I bet he's got a massive bit of phlegm in the back of his throat. He just needs.
And one day he'll accidentally bring that up, and he'll be like, "Oh my god,
it won't even sound like him."
Sponsorship
just ruin the whole thing.
Quite nice, actually.
Sean Dyche, sponsored by Lemsip.
Yeah. Winning. Oh shit!
It's fucking mad, isn't it? Imagine him shouting at you, though. You'd be fucking terrified, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he does look a bit like he could throw like a fridge at you or something. Like he does.
Mate,
look
do you
angry.
remember him in his playing days? He was an animal.
Yeah, he was at Millwall, wasn't he?
He was a lunatic.
Yeah.
Proper lunatic. I can imagine he's still the same, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you, before we move on, I don't know if any of you have heard these the stories of a few ex-Burnley players and players that played under him, and about the fine system that they do at Burnley.
What's that?
So basically, he's got, because it's pretty generic at a lot of these clubs. Like if you're late, you get like a fucking 500 quid fine or all petty shit like that. They've got different things in place. Like if you get nutmegged in training, it's a fine. If you're late for training, it's a fine. All these like standard things. But what the fine will be is determined by a Wheel of Fortune type thing. So at the start of the season,
Mickey Campbell, yeah.
Yeah. At the start of the season, all of the players will basically put a fine down as one of the sections on the Wheel of Fortune. So you could put like you've got to have a moustache or something like something. It could be something properly random, and they're all like filled out by the players, and then they have to spin the wheel, and whatever they land on, that's their fine. And I think that's fucking brilliant. Things like that in the modern game, that must really build a bit of a team spirit there. You know what I mean?
Well, fuck me, he's kept his job for long enough, and they're muck.
To be fair, I think it might run out this year. I think this could be the year that they plummet.
That Cornet signing is a gem.
He could be the difference for them, you know. That Cornet,
unbelievable. When I watched him the other day, he was quite good when we played against him.
He's been on flames for a few weeks now as well. Like he's
quality.
He scored about 3 or 4 goals.
Dwight McNeil's a good player. Another decent player.
He is a good player.
Can't really tell you much about the rest of their players, mind. But
Old Trafford.
It's about
Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes just love elbowing people. But he scored a couple of good goals, didn't he, that Wood? The first one was decent.
Yeah, that was a good finish.
Yeah.
Chris Wood's one of them. He'll in the Premier League, he'll probably bag you 10 a season.
Yeah.
Like, he's not anything to write home about, but he knows how to score a goal. He's nothing like fantastic, but he'll shit house his way.
They always manage to just stay up, don't they? They skirt above the relegation zone.
Yeah, they do, but I think this could be the year that ends. But yeah, we'll swiftly move on anyway, boys. So we'll move on to our predictions league. So, as you all know, correct results, you get 2 points. I'm very despondent about this now.
Only got 2 points this week.
Exact scores, you get 5 points. So it's done on that basis. So we'll bring up the table following this weekend's results. And needless to say, Kyle has extended his lead at the top of the table.
6 correct scores. That is
he's now bagged 6 correct scores. Well, 6 exact scores overall. This weekend he ended up with 7 points. So he got 1 exact score and 1 correct result. Matt, Greg, and myself all just got 1 correct result and brought 2 points in onto our tally. And Dave actually got an exact score himself, so he brought 5 points in. So and they both predicted the Leeds Norwich game, bang on. So fair play to you boys. And so they're the current standings. I have got a fuckload of work to do, and I need to start figuring out some exact scores. So I have got a plan in place, and I'm going to call on one person in the comments to predict a result for me for each of the fixtures this week. I have penciled down my own scores.
I know you're struggling, but that's reaching for you. Come on.
Well, I think drastic times called for drastic measures, mate. And it's a bit of interactivity with the people watching.
With our small Leeds fan base that we have.
Exactly. So I have made a note of the scores that I was going to predict. Anyway, so I'm going to keep them to the side, and I will send them to you boys before the weekend. But we're going to go in and we're going to start with the fixtures that we're going to predict for the upcoming game, the upcoming games of this weekend. Obviously, Kyle's not joining us, but he will text these over to me. Let me just check if he's sent them over. But John, if you could bring up the fixtures for this weekend, mate. Has Kyle sent them in?
Where's the other?
I don't think he did.
In yet, so I can't read them out.
Oh,
Don't tell me what to
Man
do.
United, eh? Tasty.
Don't tell me what to do. Directed John, eh? Terrible.
Oh, could they do them more than 5? Could they eclipse us?
Well, we go straight in. Yeah, exactly, Bandy. Get relegated, we all get relegated. Right, so Man United versus Man City. And if you remember rightly, we was originally going in ascending order. So Kyle was first, so he was predicting first, but he threw his toys out the pram. So we're now going to go bottom up. So I'm predicting first. So what I want, first score in for the Manchester Derby, is I want Mr. Tom to predict what my score is. So we're throwing Mr. Tom up in the comments. Come on, Mr. Tom, what we got? Scum versus Man City. Is he leaving me hanging? Leaving me hanging here, boys. Right, well, we move on until Mr. Tom throws his up. We go to Dave. What is your score for Man United versus Man City?
Gonna go.
I think this is tough to predict this, you know.
Mr. Tom.
2-1 win.
I might have to change my ruling. I can't have them winning.
Well, you've called him out and asked him for his opinion. So now,
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm gonna go with it, Mr. Tom. You better be right, mate. Right, so the Scum 2-1 is mine. Dave, what's yours?
3-2 to Man City.
3-2 to Man City.
Man United have just scored the last kick of the game.
For fuck's sake!
I can hear Merson in the background. I don't know who scored it. Ronaldo again. Jesus, a joke.
That's what kills me when people talk about saying that he shouldn't be playing and stuff like that. He's their best player.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Greg, what's your
And by the way, he's doing it back in the Prem at this age, and Messi can't even score a goal in Liga.
Yeah, no.
Liga.
And all the while, no one is mentioning Jadon Sancho. The geezer's just, what, has he jumped off a cliff? Has he jumped off a cliff?
Might as well.
Hell, mate.
Greg, what's yours, mate?
City 3-1.
How's your whistle? All right.
I thought there was a storm in your toilet there, Greg.
There's only one toilet on here, mate. That's yours.
Matty, what's yours?
I'm going to go with 3-1. Same as Greg, 3-1. I tried to swerve around it, but no, it's what I was going to go with anyway, so I'm not going to change my mind. 3-1, Man City.
Ben Ireland, I'm calling on you for my prediction for Arsenal versus Watford. Don't let me down, Ben. Come on, mate.
Bearing in mind they just scored 5 at Goodison. Fucking hell, I'm actually a bit scared about this game. But
It's one of them, isn't it?
Back an Arsenal win this week. I haven't done it for 2 weeks.
Who did Watford play this week?
They played Everton 1-5-2.
There were 2.
No, that was last week.
Was it?
3-1 to Arsenal. Ben has gone. So, yeah, we'll go with that.
Everton played Wolves last night, so Watford must have played someone this weekend.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Who did they play? Oh, they lost to Southampton at home, didn't they?
Oh, Southampton 1-0, yeah.
Ray Adams scored that worldie.
Yeah, it's a worldie, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fucking hell, what did last week?
Dave, what's yours, mate? Arsenal, Watford.
I think the only way this could go tits up is if he starts trying to get clever with a formation or who he's picking. Like if he tries to,
he just needs to keep it the same as it was.
If he goes with his strongest team, I think I'm debating between a 3-1 win and a 3-2 win. I think Watford are going to get a goal at least. Let's go 3-1.
3-1. Greg.
I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
And Boyle.
4-1 Arsenal.
Woo. Right.
I got to back them now.
Leeds Leicester. Bremner's Ghost. What is my prediction for Leeds versus Leicester? In the meantime, while he's putting that up, Dave, what is yours?
Uh, 2-1 Leicester.
Greg.
I'm going to go for a 1-1.
On all. Right, Bremner's Ghost has gone 3-1 to Leeds. I'll take that.
Absolutely no chance that's happening.
You never know, Matty. You never know.
No
we have got Rafinha, so that's all that matters. Boyle, what's yours then?
3-1 Leicester. Look, don't be fooled by the Arsenal score. If it weren't for Big Rambo in goal, mate, they would have scored 3 or 4, mate. So, yeah, no, I can't see anything apart from unfortunately for you lot, a Leicester win.
We did pull their pants down last time we played them, but we're not in that sort of form. But oh well. Last one up then: West Ham versus Liverpool. And Bandy, I want you to give me my prediction for this. So West Ham versus Liverpool, predicted by Bandy for myself. In the meantime, Dave, what's your call, mate?
What game's this? Sorry.
West Ham Liverpool. Don't ask where it is.
1-1.
1-1. Greg. Ooh, Bandy, I like it. That's a bold call. 4-2 to West Ham.
3-2 Liverpool.
3-2 to Liverpool. And Matty.
Desmond.
Desmond. That's a good Desmond, actually, for this game, you know. Does that make Mr. Tom Benjamin? It seems that way. We'll see how it develops over the weeks, and we'll see who else gets chipped in. But you're the most active in the comments, boys, so you're there on merit. So we'll have to see how effective you boys are. I should have made a note, actually. I'll have to go back and watch it and make a note on my spreadsheet as to who put each prediction down for me. But yeah, Dave, by the way, your mic is humming a little bit, just out of interest. I don't know if you can comment down on there, but just thing. There we go. That's better. Oh, better. Yeah, it is you then. Oh, yeah. Is that better for everyone?
Back.
I don't know what he's done. But yeah, anyway, now let's move on quickly to our nominations for Donkey of the Week and Baller of the Week. So first up, we're going to go with Donkey.
You can't vote for your own fucking team, can you?
Only for Donkey. You can vote for Donkey of your own team, but you can't vote for Baller. Because otherwise, like,
I don't even know I'm going to pick now.
Every week for me. Donkey of the Week, anyway. Dave, we will start with you and your humming mic. What are we going with?
I think it's the computer trying to cool itself down. There's nothing I can do.
Blow on it.
It's hard to avoid going for the Yids as just a whole outfit for just being dog shit. Yeah, Tottenham. I might as well get it in now because under Conte they'll probably improve a bit.
Tim Cruel, that's a shout.
That's cruel. That's cruel, that is.
Just off the back of that, before we go on with our nominations, I don't know if you boys see, but when we was fighting out with Norwich as to who got promoted from the Championship a few seasons ago, we were like the informed team. and Tim Krul done an article where he said they're not Barcelona, like there's nothing to worry about, sort of thing about Leeds. And there was a screenshot of him and Kemal Roof like face to face, and after the game.
That geezer is so funny, man. Seriously.
After the game, Rafinha screenshotted that article and put it on his Instagram story, and basically was like, "No, we're not Barcelona, we're Leeds," with like at Tim Krul on it. So he's proper mugged him off because he threw one in the net. So yeah, have that, Krul, you dick. But yeah. So Matty, who's your donkey of the week?
Yeah, I just can't look past Spurs. I mean, it's just they're pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And now they've just managed to obtain a manager of that ilk. It just baffles me. It's just money talks, mate. But yeah, Spurs, they're fucking terrible.
Well, I'm gonna go with mine, Greg, before you go in with yours, just in case. I was umming and ahhing between Spurs as an entity themselves or said person, and I've gone with Harry Kane. Purely because the season as a whole, he's been fucking dreadful. And this was the game. It was labelled El Sackico beforehand. They knew what this game meant for both managers of both teams. It was a vital game. Neither team's in form. And he turns up and puts a performance in like that. The guy's supposed to be their captain. He's supposed to be their leader. He's supposed to be their everything. And he's just rolled over and let Man United tickle his belly and every other team tickle his belly. So Harry Kane for me. Greg.
So what does that make it 3-0 anyway, or?
Well, no, it's 2 for Tottenham, 1 for Kane.
He's Tottenham. He's Mr. Tottenham, isn't he? He is Tottenham.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah, I am Mr. Tottenham. Yeah,
obviously.
I have gone different. I could have easily gone for them, but do you know what? It really annoyed me. Like, I know we touched on it earlier, like with the refereeing. So I've gone with the Aston Villa, Chris Kavanagh.
I thought you should just go all referees.
Well, yeah. I mean, VAR. Whoever needs that forearm smash by Courtney Hawes or whatever his name is, he gets away with that, and then Konza, who just tripped someone on the edge of the box, gets sent off. And it doesn't get turned around. There's something really wrong with VAR or the on-pitch refs, linesmen that can't help each other out and see this.
Especially with the modern day tech like that. Yeah.
They're no longer linesmen, they're assistants.
Yeah, it's a clear for whether he wins the ball or not. He's followed through and clearly forearm smashed the geezer straight in the face. And then it actually leads on to his centre-back partner getting sent off. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, that was my vote. Chris Kavanagh, or whoever the VAR was on that day that can't sort out a forearm smash.
All refs are in donkey of the week.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so there we go. It is relatively unanimous, guys. We're going with Tottenham Hotspur, our donkey of the week.
That was Kyle's vote as well, wasn't it?
Let's go!
Let's go! Come on! So yeah, well done, Tottenham, and welcome Antonio Conte.
Yeah, hopefully you're there as well.
Going to last. Now let's go to the opposite end of the scale, and our baller of the week. Cue the clip, John. Oh yeah,
Chudsy.
Chuds. So yeah, baller of the week.
Great shout, Ben. Absolutely, but I can't vote for him, so I'll leave it to you, good people, to do the honour.
Yeah. Well, look, I will go in first because mine is what Ben has just put up. Mine is Aaron Ramsdale, and you can go for the performance, the saves, the save from the free kick alone. He should have got baller of the week.
Absolute hero.
That save from the free kick is phenomenal, by the way. And how that didn't go in, even on the follow-up.
No, it's mad. Tavares toe punted it off the line, I think.
Amazing. But as Ben Ireland did put in the comments, it's for the taking the piss out of the Leicester fans. Your shit, and he gets involved on his... That, for me, that's like... Legend. That's baller of the season type shit. I'm all in. So, yeah, Aaron Ramsdale for me. Before we go over to the Gunners, Greg, who's yours, mate?
Do you know what?
He's not going to pick Ramsdale.
I was
spite.
No, it's not that. It's not out of spite. Mentions to him definitely, like, he was unreal. But do you know what? You actually know Bandy.
No, Bandy.
You actually mentioned him earlier, and I stayed quiet because he is my baller. It's Maxwell Cornet.
Yeah,
unbelievable. He's gone under the radar for a few weeks now. He's actually performing really well, and he scored a few
times.
And he scored a few. He scored a few worldies, and
the goal when he rolled his foot over the ball and then smashed it. I mean, it top bins.
That's what I'm saying.
On his
he's actually gone unnoticed in a few weeks where he's literally.
Anyone who isn't a Brighton player.
Yeah, he's gone under the radar, and and the goal topped it off for me.
4 appearances, 4 goals.
Yeah, decent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I do wonder, a player coming from Lyon to go to Burnley, I don't know how they've done it or how he's made the decision, but I mean, fair play to him. He's done really well. So
by all accounts, and one of the reasons Leeds didn't get him was apparently his attitude isn't great. He fell out with a lot of people at Lyon. And he's a very up and down player. Like he has these.
He's right though, isn't he? He's that. I just don't get it.
Actually, I don't remember Burnley having a black player.
They must have had one.
Andre Bikey.
BK, yeah, BK. Yeah.
Did he play there? I remember him at Reading.
Yeah, he was at Reading as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was a bit of a lunatic. I quite liked him. But yeah, Cornet, like a lot of Lyon fans wanted him out because he goes through these stages and he'll sort of just go, fuck it, I don't want to play. And
Damari Gray,
even though on his day he's blinding, so I think that's
Armenia.
They could get him. Ian Wright in 2000. That's a shout. He went there, didn't he?
He was about 3 stone overweight when he signed for them.
Still their best player ever. So yeah, let's go over to the Gunners now. And Matthew, who is your baller of the week?
Well, Cornet did cross my mind, but I mean, I hate to give it to a player of this club because I just fucking can't stand them.
Tottenham.
Reece James.
Oh yeah.
His 2 finishes were like finishes of a centre midfielder. How relaxed he was. He's quality. I mean, like I said, I can't stand Chelsea, but he's a right back for fuck's sake. Like there'll be midfielders that'll be proud of them goals. His finishing was just top class. Yeah, Reece James for me.
I still think he looks weird since he's cut his hair though. Like even though it's a better haircut than what he had.
Now we're on to his haircut.
It looks weird. Yeah, he just face looks weird. Dave, who's your call, mate?
So there's a chance that Ramsdale's not going to get baller of the week. It's just criminal. What is going on here?
Well, so far, this could go to a public vote because we've got
Kyle voted for Ramsdale, by the way.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I put it in the text message.
Oh, I've not seen it yet.
Yeah,
but we've got.
And he done Spurs. He done Spurs, so Spurs was unanimous.
Yeah, no, so he has fair play.
Well
so yeah, Dave. As long as you don't go for Cornet or who was yours, Matty?
Reece James.
Or Reece James, then Ramsdale's won it. So tactical vote or
it might have to swing to a tactical, I'm afraid.
Yes, Dave, like it. Like it.
So now I'm struggling to think because to be honest with you, the 3 we've mentioned were outstanding for me, including James. But I want to see a public vote on this one, so I'm just going to have to say, let's go Ronaldo for his volley.
Just there's no public vote. Ramsdale's won it.
I think, yeah. I mean, Ronaldo, the volley and what he did for that Cavani goal. He just, whoever the defender was it Dyer or Romero? He just killed him. That first touch when he flicked it back. Tell mate. See you later.
But it is Ronaldo who plays for them, so
yeah, absolute Jurgen Klopp.
But yeah, so that's our baller of the week and donkey of the week tied up, boys.
Ramsdale, the governor. Yes,
Rambo.
Look at his boat. Go on, son.
Baller of the week,
Rambo.
No, he's been sensational, mate. It's been a bit of good business that from you boys. What were the results tonight anyway? Barca actually won a game tonight. They beat Dinamo Kiev. Who else we got? Juve also won. Chelsea won again. Man United.
Chelsea win every week.
But is there any like with the games?
Jumping Jack Flash.
Sister Act.
With the games this weekend, obviously, boys, the ones that are involved in our teams, we've gone over. Is there any other games there that stand out for you at all? Like, what you got other than our teams? You've got Everton, Tottenham, you've got Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, Norwich, Chelsea, Burnley, Palace, Wolves, Southampton, Villa.
Palace, Wolves will be an interesting game.
Yeah, because Wolves have hit a bit of form, haven't they?
Yeah, they won last night as well, didn't they?
They're playing some decent stuff, actually. Like against Leeds, they were fucking shit.
Jimenez looks like he's coming back to a bit of form now. He was a bit ropey. Yeah, Aguero.
Yeah, we'll touch on that actually. Look, I was thinking earlier because I was listening to Fabrice Muamba talking about him on TalkSport, and he was talking about Sergio Aguero and Eriksen and that. And I might get in touch with Tubes from Soccer AM because like we've had him on the show before, and he's like a contact of mine. I wouldn't say a mate, but he's a contact of mine. And I'm thinking of getting him on to sort of discuss the heart attack thing within football, because Tubes sadly had a heart attack just over a year ago, and luckily came through it. And I'd like him to sort of come on and tell his story about when he had his heart attack, because it's a phenomenal story in itself. And I'd like to sort of touch on the whole Aguero situation and Christian Eriksen and see sort of opinion on recovery of that. Do you know what I mean? And if he thinks that they could play again, because Eriksen is sort of umming and ahhing it. I know he's been told he can't play in Italy.
Why would you bother if you were Eriksen? Surely your health is more important.
That's what Miranda was saying. He said
he's got the money. He's at the end of his career. Yeah. He's at the back end of his career. He's made his dough. Like, just leave it alone. But how did Aguero pass a medical with that at a club like Barcelona? That doesn't even make sense.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Well, Barcelona probably turn a blind eye because they're so fucking desperate.
Pulsating show.
He could have had no heart, and they go, "Yeah, it's fine. We just need someone." Yeah.
Contract.
It should be a pulsating show. For fuck's sake. I think it could be quite an interesting one. Sort of get his point of view on it, because it's fine us sort of talking about it from a point of view where none of us have been in that situation. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be. Would you like? Because I know Tubes played at a decent level himself. I don't know if he's playing football again, if he at all, or if he's allowed.
I don't think he does. I could be wrong though.
I'll have to ask him, and it'd be interesting to sort of get him on and have a chat about it, just to see his opinion, really. And to be honest, he's probably spoken to some of these guys anyway through his job with Soccer AM. He's probably interviewed a few of them himself. He might have even spoke to Muamba about it and things like that. You never know. Do you know what I mean?
He just had Ramsdale on that Golf Life, didn't he?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, he's doing well, actually, mate.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, he had David Bentley on the other week. He looks quite funny, to be fair.
He's a character and half, Bentley, man. Fucking nutter. But he's funny. He was a good player back in the day as well, actually.
He had a few decent seasons, didn't he? And then just dropped.
Better for Tottenham.
That goal scored in the North London derby, that volley that fucking from about 300 yards away.
Mate, I still to this day, I think that Almunia should have saved that.
Yeah, so do I.
It's like it dropped the yard before the goal and it's still winning.
Yeah.
He had that in the locker though, didn't he, Almunia?
Did he?
I used to call him pneumonia. Only.
But that brings us to the end anyway, guys. Fingers crossed we get Kyle back next week, all healthy, and hopefully talking about a heavy defeat for his beloved Man United against City. And fingers crossed. Have we had a week yet where all of us have won?
Don't think that'll ever happen.
It won't happen this week because obviously
it's not going to happen for the rest of the season.
Probably, that'll be a celebration episode. When that happens, we'll have to sort something out. we'll all have to get pissed up and go full fucking fancy dress or something. By the way, I don't know if we're going to do this in person. I don't know when we're all planning on meeting up or whatever, but I still owe Kyle for a bet from last season. I don't know if you lot remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we done a bet. I think it was.
It's on download, Ben. It's on download, mate.
Who's going to score more goals out of Bruno for the Scum Bastards? And I had Pablo Hernandez and Matthias Klick for Leeds. And obviously, Pablo Hernandez barely kicked the ball and Klick scored like twice all season. So I lost the bet. And the wager was the loser, which was me, has to dress up as Bruno, but the one from the film Bruno, the Sacha Baron Cohen. And so I still need to do that. And I don't know if I'm going to do it on here.
That's an absurd bet.
Or if we're going to do it in person somewhere. I'd probably prefer it on here because
if you do it on here, you've got to stand up.
Well, yeah, because you wouldn't see the full man camel.
All they're just going to see is a massive pair of NBA nuts. And that's it. Some fucking basketball nuts that you've got.
It's going to be horrendous. But,
he's putting the socks down there. He ain't getting.
Get down there.
But yeah, it'll be an interesting one. So if we do it in person, I'll probably put that on our Twitter or something anyway. But if not, I'll do it on the show. I'll have to let Jonesy decide what he thinks is best. It was his bet, so we'll go from there. There we go. That'll be me, guys. Fuck's sake. I am fucking dreading it. Jesus Christ.
That exact outfit, please.
I'll have to do a little photo thing, do a few photos to copy.
John.
That exact pose too.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. But yeah, that's the end of the show anyway, boys. So yeah, Ben Ireland did put in the big 50 next week. It's our 50th episode next week.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a bit of a milestone. So
under the cosh must be shitting themselves.
I might actually have a word with a few ex people that have been on. People like Hannah Bagley, people like Tubes that have been on and have said that they will come back on. I might have a few.
Obviously, Billy Joe's Arsenal tickets have been in the post since.
Yeah, exactly.
That one. Cheers,
I'll have to put a few feelers out this week. See if any of them will pop on as a guest appearance next week. 50th episode, mate. It's big for us anyway. We'll go from there. But yeah, thanks, ladies and gents. Oh, that's a good shout actually. Bremner's Ghost Book 50th show, happy hour. We could do it this weekend. Just all have a beer and. Does that suit you, boys?
What day are we talking here? Saturday.
Whatever suits.
I'm in the weekend. Apart from Sunday, I'm out somewhere with the family. But yeah.
Yeah,
Saturday could work.
Yeah, we could maybe do that. We'll have a chat and we'll see what we can do, boys. But yeah, that could be a good shout. But either way, we'll get a few beers in and yeah, make it a bit of a special one, lads. But
let's do it.
But yeah, all the best. Thank you for everyone for tuning in, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel to everyone that you think might be interested in watching. And yeah, until next time, all the best, guys. Thank you,
everyone. Thanks for watching.
Peace.